Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all. Now, I wasn't even gonna do a video, but I was like feeling my little vibe. I was like, let me just make a video. Like, just why not? I'm in a good mood, feeling right. We're gonna do this. Now, we're gonna go Robert Greene, concise, 48 laws of power. We're gonna go the first law, then I'll give y'all my take on it, kind of break it down. Like I said, it's gonna be one of the videos where I ain't trying to do it short in the sound, the caption, the app, like I already told y'all. We're just gonna take it slow. We're gonna read it. I'm gonna tell y'all my thoughts on it, and we're gonna go from there. Let's get to it. Reason I like the concise version so much is because he gives a lot of history in like the regular version, and if you're into that, that's cool. But the concise version just gets to the point more. It still has a little bit of history, but it ties it into um, today much simpler versus the whole historical story and then tying it into today's world. So it's deep. But Robert Greene, my guy. So here we go. Law number one is never outshine the master. Judgment. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Keys to power. Everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself in the world and display your talents, you naturally stir up all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. This is to be expected. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others. With those above you, however, you must take a different approach. When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all. Do not fool yourself into thinking that life has changed much since the days of Louis XIV and the Medicis. Those who attain high standing in life are like kings and queens. They want to feel secure in their positions and superior to those around them in intelligence, wit, and charm. It is a deadly but common misperception to believe that by displaying and vaunting your gifts and talents, you are winning the master's affection. He may feign appreciation, but at his first opportunity, he will replace you with someone less intelligent, less attractive, less threatening. Getting deep. This law involves two rules that you must realize. First, you can inadvertently outshine a master simply by being yourself. There are masters who are more insecure than others, monstrously insecure. You may naturally outshine them by your charm and grace. If you cannot help being charming, you must learn to avoid such monsters of vanity or find a way to mute your good qualities when in their company. That is something I've dealt with in the military. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And when you say masters, obviously, like I said, he giving these historical lessons, but don't think of like you're a slave and a master. Just think of your boss, like your supervisor, your high. If you're in the military like me, higher ranks, like people who are your boss. It's just simple. So like, don't go out of your way to try to like outdo them. But like as he's saying, there are some people who are just naturally charming, naturally charismatic, who other people are going to gravitate towards. And he's saying, and it kind of sucks, but if you know, you know, and you've been grown long enough, you've been working under people long enough, you know, you can't do too much to the point to where you're making your boss feel stupid. Because like he said, somebody he'll replace you with someone less hell qualified. And I'm gonna talk about it at the end. Let me finish. Second, never imagine that because the master loves you, you can do anything you want. That is true. Entire books can be written about favorites who fell out of favor by taking their status for granted for daring to outshine. Knowing the dangers of outshining your master, you can turn this law into your advantage. First, you must flatter and puff up your master. Overt flattery can be effective but has its limits. It is too direct and obvious and looks bad to other courtiers. Discreet flattery is much more powerful. If you are more intelligent than your master, for example, seem the opposite. Make him appear more intelligent than you. Act naive. Make it seem that you need his expertise. Commit harmless mistakes that will not hurt you in the long run, but will give you the chance to ask for his help. Masters adore such requests. A master who cannot bestow on you the gifts of his experience may direct rancor and ill will at you instead. If your ideas are more creative than your master's, ascribe them to him in as public a manner as possible. Make it clear that your advice is merely an echo of his advice. If you are naturally more sociable and generous than your master, be careful not to be the cloud that blocks his radiance from others. He must appear as the sun around which everyone revolves, radiating power and brilliance, the center of attention. Oh man. In all these cases, it is not a weakness to disguise your strengths if in the end they lead to power. By letting others outshine you, you remain in control instead of being a victim of their insecurity. This will all come in handy the day you decide to rise above your inferior status. If you can make your master shine even more in the eyes of others, then you are a godsend and you will be instantly promoted. Image. The stars in the sky. There can only be one sun at a time. Never obscure the sunlight or rival the sun's brilliance, but rather fade into the sky and find ways to heighten the master star's intensity. Authority. Avoid outshining the master. All superiority is odious, but the superiority of a subject over his prince is not only stupid, it is fatal. This is a lesson that the stars in the sky teach us. They may be related to the sun and just as brilliant, but they never appear in her company. It's deep. That's law number one. That's never outshining your master. One one thing that I can say is this. Being that I've been in the Navy for 11 years, fix myself up. I've encountered a lot of I've worked for a lot of people. You at the bottom, I've came in at E1. So if you know anything about the military, obviously it's rank and structure. It's a pyramid. It's a bunch of people at the bottom and less people at the top, and it goes like this. The people at the top make all the decisions, and it just trickles down the chain of command. So you, no matter who you really are, you're gonna always have a boss. That's just what it is. And if you don't have a boss, you've put in 40, 50 years to where okay, you really running things. But even then, you still have a boss if you're in the military because we're under the president and the Secretary of Defense and the Navy and all that stuff. So basically, it's still ultimately not your decision whether something major happens. But back to the point. The point is this: I've had good leaders. I've had bad leaders. I've had leaders who wanted to push me and propel me forward. I had leaders who've been envious and jealous of me. And even though they were outranking me, like how Robert says in the book, if you have this natural charm, people are drawn to you. It cannot even be about work. You could not be a good worker, but you could be a good person. And people just gravitating towards you. That could make people envious, not just your master, but for the sake of the chapter, we're talking about your boss. So you can make them jealous of you. They could wish like, dang, I wish I was as cool as this guy, or this was the type of guy who took my girl when I was in high school. I've seen it. This was the guy who picked on me and these cool guys and all of this. So I'm gonna make their life hell. I've seen this. So what he's saying is it was hard for me because it's kind of hard for me to pretend or like to bite my tongue when I feel strongly about something. But as you get older, you start realizing, okay, some things just ain't even worth giving your energy to. So what he's saying in this, to sum it all up, is basically go to your boss, make the people above you feel like, make them like you're. What do you think I should do? Like, give me your advice. What would you do? Oh man, you smart. You are amazing. Like, don't be fake with it. Don't be trying to like, don't be doing too much because now it's like, oh no, you being a kiss ass. You see what I'm saying? But keep it, you know what I'm saying? You can ask questions. You don't know everything. Hold on, I'm finna change this because I had got a copyright on one of my videos. I didn't know what it was. So I just be playing my stuff because I know I can't get a copyright on my own channel. Put myself up on there. Yeah, that guy right there. And yeah, man, you just gotta just play your part. You know where you at. Read the room, have them social cues, like, and it's easy for me because I'm in the military, so you can see the rank. We wear it on our shirts, and you can't miss it, and you know who your bosses are. But in real world, different jobs, I can't really speak too much, but everyone, like I said, mostly everyone has a boss, right? Unless you're a self-made entrepreneur, you're doing your own thing, cool. Which is what I'm trying to be one day myself, which is why I'm here building a name for myself, building a brand. So hey, more power to you. But up until then, you got to start somewhere. More than likely, you're gonna have somebody that you're working for. While you're working for them, go to them for help. Go to them for advice. Don't be a kiss ass, but don't overdo it. Don't try to step on their toes. Don't try to be the leader. Don't you try to boss them. They'll replace your ass. And you just gotta know. You just gotta know your place. Know where you at. Understand social cues. Understand social settings. Don't try to go out your way to make your boss look bad or try to do too much. If you're naturally charming and charismatic, he basically saying in the book to turn it down. I don't like that. It's kind of hard, but like I said, as you get older, you just kind of play the game. Life is a game of chess, right? And one of the things I learned too, to wrap all of this up, is the richest people in the world ain't necessarily the smartest. One of two, a couple things they have in common. One, okay, if you come from money, you've been passed down, so there's that. So you've been groomed since you was a child. You've been rich your whole life, and so that's a lot. That's a lot of people that owe money, as you might know. And then you got people who, okay, you might be self-made, or nobody's ever self-made. You need a team, right, to truly get somewhere. But one of the things I learned with them is they might not even necessarily be the smartest people in the world, like as far as books and all of this. It's usually just them as a people like them. It's really more so who you know compared to what you know. Knowing the right people will get you in the right doors, will get you access to something that you might have never even known about. That's the whole point. Like I talked about in my last video right here, the importance of, like, actually no, it wasn't that video, but the importance of mentorship. Actually, no, I did talk about it in this video. I did, like, the importance of you might have to buy a course or put some money down, pay 5,000 for this 5 day online seminar with these people. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And even if you get one or two nuggets from it, it'll put you ahead. So that's like that's kind of like the point of that's kind of like how a lot of the rich people do it. You know what I'm saying?